everyone, it's Leilani. Welcome back to my channel. So today, friends, I am very excited to say that I am bringing back the Hobonichi. So if you enjoyed my previous Hobonichi content from last year, I think maybe the year before, you will be happy to know that I am going to bring it back. I'm really excited. Now, I say that, but I've got to explain myself a little bit. So I have been missing the Hobonichi a lot. It was a project that I absolutely adored. I love working in a journal. I love just playing around with stickers and washi and just markers and doing my journaling. I think it's so fun. But the thing that, of course, got me with the Hobonichi whenever I was trying to do it in 2023 and 2024 is that you have those darn daily pages. And now those are my favorite part of the entire thing. I don't care about the weekly spreads. I don't care about the monthly spreads. I love the daily pages, but keeping up with daily pages is enough to drive anyone mad. And plus with working on other scrapbooking projects, doing memory keeping in other ways like Project Life and mini albums, it just is a lot of repetition and it's tough with that day-to-day documenting. So what I ended up doing was I went on Amazon, I'll link it below, and I grabbed a Hobonichi brand graph notebook. It's still a pretty thick graph notebook. It's the same size as my original Hobonichi, which I think was the A5, if I'm not wrong. The second year I did the A4, I think, which is the smaller one. I'll link the one that I got anyways. But this entire notebook is just graph paper. There's no daily pages. There's no weekly or monthly. Originally, I was thinking about getting a day-free Hobonichi, but then as I was kind of doing some research, these were a lot cheaper, and I don't need those weekly pages. I don't need the monthlies. I just want the plain notebook paper, so that's what I ended up getting. So my plan is to just pull this thing out whenever I feel like it, every month, maybe once a month, maybe every other month, whenever I feel like documenting something, and I will just work away in my Hobonichi. I love the paper of the Hobonichi, and that's why I really wanted to use a hobo again, but I think that this will be a good solution for me. So as I've been chatting there, I had to do a little bit of an intro, but as I've been chatting, you'll notice that I've started to put things down. So I really didn't know what I was going to talk about or journal about throughout this spread, but I knew that Buffy had to be represented in my opening spread of my new notebook. So what I did was I just went online. I follow a few Buffy accounts, and one on Instagram is called Every Outfit Buffy Wore or something like that. And I love that account. So I went on there and I just snagged a couple of the photos and then I took the background out. I use the Photo Room app, but there's many apps and I think you can just do it on your iPhone. Take the background out and then I printed those off on sticker paper. So I had them ready to go. I also printed off a little meme that I found that I liked. And I do print off a couple pictures of my Starbucks drink and of some daffodils that I picked out of our garden. So I add those in as we go. So I just had a few of my own photos that I printed. And then, of course, I pulled out my trusty caboodle that has not been touched in probably 8 months or more, 9 months. And I did have some stickers and things that I've used previously that you might recognize. I will link those below as well, some of the main sticker sheets that I use. But yeah, I just grabbed those out along with my regular sticker book and started to get going. So I knew that I wanted to start off with that big pink area. I wanted to do a things I'm loving right now section. So I thought it would be fun to color in a portion of the spread and then use that as a divider where I could just talk about things I'm loving in that particular spot. And then of course, if I was going to have these photos of Buffy, I was definitely going to choose a couple Buffy quotes to add in here. So this one says, "I may be dead, but I'm still pretty," which I think was from maybe season 2, I feel like. So I had to add that quote in there. I'm loving my Buffy rewatch. I decided to rewatch the show, and it has been so much fun. I'm in season 3. I'm probably like midway through. There's 7 seasons. And one part that's been really fun, I mean, the show's incredible on its own, but one part that's been really fun is I've been listening to a podcast called The Rewatcher, and it's the 2 girls that do the Morbid podcast, which I'm familiar with the name, but I'd never listened to that podcast, but they're really fun and it's so good. I've probably mentioned it over here before, but if you're into Buffy, it's like a companion podcast. So they go through each episode, and I've really enjoyed like either watching Buffy, or if I'm cleaning the house or editing videos or doing something where I can't watch a show, I'll listen to the podcast. So that's just been super fun. So, again, I did grab out a couple stamp sets. I grabbed out 2, not necessarily stamp sets, but okay, I grabbed out these wooden stamps. They're the same ones. Y'all have seen them many times if you've watched my channel. They're just really old, really tiny stamps that I got from maybe Michael's or something years ago. I stamped out things I'm loving right now. And then it wasn't a stamp set, but it was my roller date stamp. I did stamp the date onto the first page there just so I can note what time of year this is. I'm definitely talking about spring a lot in my journaling. So I wanted to notate that it's like mid-March. And then I'm going to work on my journaling over there. So you can see that I'm adding a list of some of my favorite things or things I'm loving right now into the pink section. So of course I talked about Buffy. I also talked about the daffodils that are growing. We have a ton of daffodils that grow around here, and it always makes me happy because it's like the first sign of spring. I did mention a new drink that I've been getting at Starbucks. And then also I talked about Fresca with cherries. So that's something that I like to do at home sometimes whenever I want a fun drink. I bought these really cute, they're like fancy little cocktail cups that are at Target right now, like around this time. And they're really cute. It's like light pink, right up my alley. And I like to pour my Fresca into one of those fancy cups and then put a few cherries in it. And I just love the way that the vibes of that is so fun. So that's kind of my fun little springtime drink. So I talked about that. And then I think I left it. I'm not sure if I talked about anything else. I don't think so, but I needed to add at least 1 or 2 more things. So I leave that alone for now, and I'm going over here to the other side to do my other journaling. So here I'm just doing some general journaling about starting my Hobonichi again, and just the excitement that I have for starting again, and how I'm hoping that by kind of changing up my methods, I will be more successful. Not that I wasn't successful before, I don't want to downplay or belittle my Hobonichis of the past. I loved them and I had so much fun, and I did complete 2023, I did a spring start Hobonichi. So that was from April all the way through December. And then last year in 2024, I had the whatever the Hobonichi is, where it's like split in 2. I forget what that's called right now, but so it was like half of the year, and then you would start on a second one for the other half. So I completed the first half, I completed the first 6 months, but then I decided to take a little bit of a break, but I'm really pumped for this new format that I'm doing. So as I was doing my journaling, I was really happy that I had a little area right above my journaling over here on the left side where I could add one of those little yellow blobs that I do sometimes, which is like highlighting my title for that particular part of journaling. So I had a little space, so I ended up writing start there as I talked about my Hobonichi. Then I did romanticize it, and I wanted to talk about springtime and how spring is coming and how I want to do a few things and really romanticize this new season. So then I'm doing a really small spring bucket list. A few of the things on there are to create a spring playlist, to paint a record cabinet that we have. I just want to change the color. Also, I want to fill up the bird feeders, and I want to create a new sticker design. So those are a few of my little ideas. Then I'm adding on a few other just doodling bits as I'm working on it. I'll continuously notice little areas where I'm like, I need something right there. I need something right there. So you'll notice that I'll keep adding things in. I also popped in that picture of the daffodils in the little vase at the bottom. And then I have my Starbucks drink over on the opposite side. I did grab out a few of those vellum or not vellum, they're washi stickers. I always want to say vellum stickers. They're washi stickers. And here's one of the sticker books right here. I'm going to add a couple more, and I will definitely link these below. They're just from Amazon, but I think they work out so nicely for the Hobonichi, especially for the style that I'm going for, because you don't have to actually cut anything out of magazines, but it gives that feel, which I really love. So here I just wanted to add a little bit about this drink. So I'm going to pop in my title and talk about it, and just talk about also me and my mom regularly getting our Starbucks again, and that I love to also get Starbucks whenever I take my mom to her massage appointments and I go to Barnes & Noble. So just kind of a little bit about our current schedule, and that I'm so grateful that we are back to our regular scheduled programming after the end of last year. Also, the drink I've been trying is the new iced cherry chai, which I really love. So then after that, I decided to go back over here to the things I'm loving right now. And I'm talking about the grizzly season. So unfortunately, when you get into this time of year, the season is dwindling down. So the playoffs will be starting soon. And I hope that we will go far in that. But you never know. It could be the end sooner than later. But I just wanted to talk about how I've been loving watching Grizzly games. And me and Will have recently gone to a couple in person. And then we listen to a lot of the Grind City media on YouTube every day, which is the Grizzlies media. And it's really fun and something that me and Will look forward to doing every day together. So I wanted to talk about that as well. Then down here, I was kind of just talking about more currently, the last couple of days. I titled this one No, because I was speaking about how, although I love spring and I'm always so excited for spring to get here, one thing that I do not like about the season are the severe thunderstormy, tornado-y weather. And that's exactly what we had last night and on into today. So it was a little scary. There was very extreme storms. Very thankfully, we did not have any tornadoes here, but there were some in Mississippi, and it was just, it just kind of has that ominous feeling. So I wanted to kind of talk about that because that was something that I was dealing with today. So I knew I wanted to leave a little bit of space blank down here at the bottom so that I could add another quote or another little doodle or something. So I'm adding in an arrow, and then I do add one other small quote at the bottom. And I ended up using that same color. I was trying to kind of go with that, whatever that kind of minty bluish greenish color is, and then also the pink. So I was going with that color scheme. So I just decided to continue with that. And this one says, "We save the world, I say let's party." So I thought that was a fun little ending. So I'm going to just write it out, and then I will, of course, outline it. I think I add on just a couple other small pieces of washi tape, but for the most part, this one is finished. So I was a little rusty getting back into the hobo. I have not opened up a Hobonichi in months and months, but I hope that you enjoyed following along with me as I restart this hobby. I have really missed it, and I'm curious if you guys are doing any kind of journaling or Hobonichis this year. You'll have to let me know in the comments, but I hope that you enjoyed this process video. If you did, please give me a like and please consider subscribing, and of course I will talk to you later. Bye y'all.